Welcome to the Trail Blaiser Podcast. I'm your host, Blaise Delfino, and joining us today is Dr. Jasen Ruiz. A little bit about Jasen. Dr. Jasen Ruiz attended and excelled at Iona College, where he earned his Bachelor of Arts degree in speech-language pathology and audiology. Jasen then continued on to Montclair State University, where he earned a Doctorate of Science in audiology. He has extensive training and experience in vestibular and neurological testing. Dr. Ruiz's specialized interests focus on the evaluation and fitting of amplification for the adult population. Dr. Ruiz excels in oral rehabilitation and creates a specific plan for each individual patient. He regularly attends continuing ed seminars to maintain his expertise in the latest advancements in hearing aid technology. I can vouch for that, seeing you a couple of weeks ago. Oh, yeah. He is an active member and fellow of the American Academy of Audiology and the American Speech Language Hearing Association. He is certified by Towson University to administer tinnitus retraining therapy for the management of tinnitus and hyperacusis. He is a licensed audiologist in New York and Florida and holds hearing aid dispensing license in both states. Jasen Ruiz, welcome to the Trail Blaiser Podcast.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Super excited.
Jasen, let's start at the beginning. You're an audiologist by trade, but today you are building businesses. As people can see, you're lifting heavy and raising a family. Where does that mindset come from? And was there something early on that shaped your discipline and ambition?
Great question, Blaise. First of all, I'm blessed to be able to do this. Number one, I thank God every day when I wake up in the morning to be able to say, I have a new day to start, to be able to do this, to be able to reach my goals, to be a better person, to be able to be an inspiration for my children, for my family, for my staff. I get to do this and I love it. And I wake up pumped. Actually, I get goosebumps just talking about it. And we just started, Blaise. So listen, this is going to be a lot of fun. But audiology, or being an entrepreneur is something that I knew I wanted to be from when I was younger. I always knew I wanted to be able to work for myself. I wanted to be able to have, obviously, the money, but the freedom to be able to do more, to be able to inspire, to be able to grow, to be able to do what I want to do when I want to do it. And that allowed me, with audiology and private practice, to be able to do real estate, to be able to do amateur bodybuilding and to compete. To be able to be a coach for my son's team. So just being an entrepreneur opened the doors to so many different avenues that I had no idea that I wanted to do them, but just the fact that I was capable and able to do that makes my life so much better and easier. And I get to spend more time and freedom with my children. And that's most important to me, to my two sons, and obviously my wife.
Well, Jasen, what is so inspiring? So, you know my story. I am genetically predisposed to hearing healthcare. And one of the reasons that I wanted to start this show, the Trail Blaiser Podcast, is because I am so blessed. I get to be connected with so many Jasens of the audiology industry and hearing healthcare industry. And I'm like, we need to get Jasen's story out there. And this is a great opportunity to raise awareness of hearing healthcare. So let's utilize it. Can you just briefly explain to our listeners tuned in what an audiologist is and the role that you play?
Yeah, we diagnose balance and hearing issues, and we're able to help them. Actually, the number one reason why I decided to choose audiology versus speech pathology is because it's black and white. You have a hearing loss, this is what we can do for it. I love that part of it. I was inspired. I remember one of the audiologists that I was able to observe in undergrad. Her name is Leah Lockley Hill. And at that time, the hospital was Our Lady of Mercy. Now it's Montclair Medical Center in the Bronx. Her energy, her drive, she was an inspiration to me. And, we still actually speak. So it's a small world in audiology. But her drive, her energy that she had as an audiologist working in the hospital, I said, I want to be just like that. I want to be able to have that energy. I want to be able to wake up in the morning and be able to help people hear better. And I got to do that. And I've been doing that now almost 25 years. So it's been a blessing. And we've helped so many people, thousands within these last few years. And we have so many more people to touch. And not only myself, but obviously my staff as well.
Jasen, such an inspiration, because when we talk about being go-givers, there's a book by Bob Berg and David Mann. I'm sure, you're shaking your head. You're familiar with it. The more we give, the more we receive. And when you give without expecting in return, that's when the blessings really start to pour in. And especially here on this podcast, we really want to highlight the trailblazers in life. So you're an entrepreneur, self-made. You've grinded for so many years to get to this point. Now, what I really find so interesting about you and your story, and of course, I follow you on social media, fitness, you inspire me, man, because, it's like, seriously, if I'm like, well, I don't feel like going to the gym today, and I see a post by you, I'm like, nah, I got to get my butt to the gym. Like, so thank you. But I'm curious, was fitness always a part of your life, or did it sort of become a non-negotiable later on?
I've always played sports when I was younger, going to the gym, played football for Mount St. Michael Academy. I wrestled. I also played college football for Iona College. I was a linebacker. I was in the gym. However, once I graduated, working in the real world, you tend to forget those things. You forget to take care of yourself. You're just grinding in the day-to-day and working and being in the office. But I think the turning point was my oldest son's 3rd birthday. When you look in the mirror, normally day to day, you don't think you may be gaining a few pounds, or the clothes may be feeling a little bit tighter, and you may not notice it. However, once I saw the pictures of his 3rd birthday and I looked at myself, I said, I don't even recognize that gentleman there. I was 243 pounds, very heavy set, and I just was not in shape. And then I look at my son at that time, and I said, do I want to be an example to be that way, to be heavy, be uncomfortable, just out of shape? The next week, I signed up to the gym, and I said, I'm going to do this not only for me, but also for my family. And it's changed the way that I look at fitness. It really is something that it's ingrained in me, something I start my day off in the morning. And I'm glad you brought that up, Blaise, with the pictures, because sometimes I wonder, is it too much to post it? It's not only obviously just to see my progress, but I really do it to be able to see how am I doing and really motivate myself. But I'm glad that it's also inspiring others to get to the gym, even if it's rainy, even if it's cold, even if it's dark. Get in there, because really by building yourself, you're just going to really translate that and really carry over to business and carry through your day. And I tell people, get it done in the morning, get it done. It really starts your day off the way it should, and you don't have to worry about it later on. And those endorphins are flowing throughout the entire day. So I love it. This is something that I love to do. And now recently, within the last 4 years, doing it competitively, which I never knew I'll be able to do. But you never know until you actually go out there and do it. So I love everything about it, Blaise. And I really stress, if anyone can learn anything, anyone's listening out there, work on yourself, because that's going to translate and help in so many other people. Work on yourself. Get in the gym. It can be losing that first pound to the 10 pounds. You're not only helping yourself, but you're helping your family and inspiring others that you may have no clue. This is the first time I've heard you say that too, Blaise, about, getting to the gym after seeing that post. So I want to keep on now because of that. I want to continue posting out there and doing it and doing these videos for sure.
Well, and Jasen, so many things to unpack there. One of my favorite quotes is, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. And I heard that from Jim Rohn, God rest his soul. I love his content. And when I heard that in my early 20s, I feel like in your early 20s, you're like, yeah, like I sort of get it. Now I really get it. And when you talk about your son's 3rd birthday, so I'm a new father. My son will be 4 months this Sunday.
Congrats.
And I have to say, it's wild when everyone's saying your life's going to change. And you're like, yeah, sure. Like, I'm not going to get as much sleep for this, but I am so grateful that, number one, having, the support of God. Number two, the support of family, super helpful with this transition. But the mentality of all the books that I read years leading up to this, I believe helped me get through those trenches of the first couple of weeks of doing the night feedings, but also making a promise to myself of, okay, when he is born, limited to no alcohol. So cutting that out. My main priority, of course, is him, my wife, and then while I was on paternity leave was hitting the gym every single day, non-negotiable. And I said, if I set that tone, again, your kids, they're watching you. No matter how young they are watching you. What is that example that you want to set? And that's what we want to talk about here on the Trail Blaiser of, we want to be those role models for our family, our friends, and our children. And so, yeah, when I do see those posts, thank you, Jason, because it's like, all right, I got to get to it. I got to make it happen. Now, Jason, you absolutely strike me as someone who has a hustle mentality, and we're both from the Northeast. So let's just be honest here. We've got the hustle mentality. We're go, go, go. It's just, I feel like it's ingrained in that area of just, let's make it happen. So it's pretty cool that we have that in common. But, your hustle mentality, it's not loud in the aggressive sense. I would say it's more or less, consistent and intentional and sort of quiet in a way of you're humble. So how do you balance, I should say, ambition with peace of mind and like what keeps you grounded?
Growing up in the Bronx in the 1980s, very humble beginnings. It's instilled, it's everything. And I wouldn't change that for the world, because I just remember seeing my parents and growing up and them sacrificing week after week, paycheck after paycheck, just to be able to allow us to go to the best schools possible in the Bronx, and be able to just help us and get through it. But I saw that grind that they did daily, and they made sure that it didn't look like we were poor in any which way. We were able to eat. We had clothes on our back. But I also remember seeing them week by week, paycheck by paycheck. And I knew that I wanted to not have to have that hardship for myself in the future, as well as for my children. So I knew that I needed to grind. I knew I needed to be better. My father always said, be the best you can be. It doesn't matter if you're the janitor or if you're the president of the United States. Be the best you can be. So that's part of my DNA from the beginning. And I highly, highly appreciate that and wouldn't change that for nothing in the world. And now, just moving forward, I'm able to take all of that I learned, everything that I experienced, and now instill that into my family, into my children, into my team, to be able to say, now let's take this to the next level and continue doing it. So it's just almost like a rotation. It just keeps on going and going and going. And like you just finished mentioning, your children really, they listen to you, but they're really going to mimic what you do. And you can tell them to do something, but if you actually show them why you do it and that it's a part of your life and it's a non-negotiable, they're going to grow up that way and do the same thing because it's automatic. This is what they're used to. This is what they're used to seeing. So I want to be able to be that inspiration. I want to be that example for them. And I want to be that example for other people that are seeing my story that you see on social media, because there's so many boys and girls coming from the Bronx, New York, and I want them to know anything's possible. I know it's a cliche, but I'm a living example of a person that came from the South Bronx in the 1980s. That was hard. That was a difficult time, but I wouldn't trade it for the world because it made me who I am today. I go back and say, thank you. Thank you for the hard times. Thank you for all the failures. Thank you for all the times I felt, because that actually gave me the grit, the drive, the perseverance to be who I am.
Amazing, Jason. You're giving me goosebumps and you get me pumped up, man, honestly. But it's those humble beginnings, and you're not afraid to lean into that vulnerability of being like, listen, this is my why. And how incredible for your children. Such a great role model, Jason. I mean, not only for your kids, but, I was thinking about this morning as I was having my first cup of Joe. And when we talk about mentorship, the great thing about social media today is you could have kids on Instagram coming across your content. They may never meet you and they may never know you, but guess what? you inspire them to take action, to become the best version of themselves. How awesome is that? And that's one of the great things I love about social media is you can touch someone's life millions of miles away, but you can still do that. Jasen, I want to lean into building business without losing yourself. And I will say, when I first entered private practice, I was 26. And when you're 25, 26, you're going to take the world by storm.
Sure.
And I don't want to necessarily say that I lost myself, but I really invested a lot into the grind, into the business. And I sort of put my own health to the wayside. Maybe I exacerbated my male pattern baldness. I don't know if the stress did that. But I think it's so important to our listeners tuned in, whether you run a business, whether you work 9 to 5 in corporate, doesn't matter, not losing yourself. And this can mean a lot of things. I'm reading a new book called The 12 Rules of Life by Jordan Peterson. I really enjoy his work. And he talks about treating yourself like someone you're responsible for. And that one really resonated with me. And I'm like, okay, so I'm a new father. I'm giving my son all this love and care and ensuring that, in partnership with my wife, of course, when's he getting down for a nap? How many ounces is he eating at certain times of the day? And when I read that, I'm thinking to myself, as humans, are we really all taking the best care of ourselves? So building business or even building your career without losing yourself, you've expanded your audiology practice to 5 locations. That is no easy feat. Coming from private practice, let's be raw here. That is a lot of headaches.
A lot of headaches daily.
It can be a lot. But here's the thing. As an entrepreneur, you thrive off that because it's problem solving. It's working with your team and solving problems. And your latest location is in New Jersey. What did it take mentally and emotionally to scale your business to that level?
It's funny that just like in the beginning of this, when you were just saying this, in your 20s, you feel you can get through anything and you're going to make it happen. And so my goal in my 20s, when I first started, I started the practice, my first one, I was turning 30. And I said, in 10 years, I'm going to have 10 offices. That was a huge goal that I wanted. Fast forward to now, I'm 45 and now I just have 5 locations. Not just, it's been amazing. But one thing that I learned, and this has been instilled from my mom, God tells you when things are supposed to happen. Everything happens when it's supposed to happen, and there's a reason for it. And really, I've really opened up practices or started practices all from scratch based on the people that I have around me. They need to be able to share the same drive. They need to be able to share the same mission. They need to be able to take care of the patients like if I was taking care of them. It's basically multiplying myself times 5, not including the PCCs and then the leadership team and everyone else that we have, to be able to have that same mission to be able to help more people. So we push each other daily, and you're right, there could be some headaches, but we get to solve those headaches. We have the luxury to be able to help more people and to be able to take these hard things. And it's good that this happens because if we weren't pushed or challenged, life would be boring. We need to be able to be challenged. We need to be able to be better. If we're not being challenged, we're not growing. And by the way, we're still in the beginning of 2025. We'll see what happens by the end. We're still growing. We want to continue to grow. And I know there's a lot of grads that are coming out of school and they may have questions regarding private practice, buying an existing practice versus starting one from scratch the way I'm doing it. I'm here to be able to help those people. And I love social media and technology in that way because we're able to really touch so many people across the United States or anywhere. And the goal is to be able to inspire them. And even with today's, I would say just noise that's out there regarding private practice and, third party or insurances or whatever the case may be. I say, if this is your dream, you have a business plan, you have projections, go for it. You got to give it your all, 100%. And then getting to your first point about working on yourself, going to the gym and getting fit is non-negotiable. I know when I'm out of that gym, I worked out, I did what I had to do, and I accomplished that one goal. First, it actually starts doing my bed. I want to make sure the bed's done. One goal's done. Something as simple as making my bed in the morning.
Yes.
And then making sure that I hit the gym, get that done, and I made it happen. And then I feel good to know that I'll be able to take all that energy that I used and now translate it to the business. And that's what we're doing right now. And then once I'm finished, once the day is over with this, then I use that energy for my children in sports and with my wife. So everything's structured the way it needs to be. I'm not thinking or guessing what's happening next. I have it planned not only today, but next week, next month, even the next 6 months. So this is the goal, is to be able to continue improving, to be able to have this set up so my children be able to see that in others so they can do better as well.
Jasen, there's so many avenues we can take there. So I want to go back to, you having the energy for your children, for your wife, for your family. You're grounding yourself in the morning. So you're setting yourself up. You have that energy. And I feel as though today, and I've been there, when you're not taking care of yourself, when you're not staying hydrated, when you're not eating well, when you're not getting enough sleep, how can you show up the best version of yourself for your family, for your friends, for work? It all comes down to, if you get yourself in check, everything else just starts to expand. And it's incredible how that works. And then you also talk about God's timing. It's often when we are in a waiting season, the delay isn't denial. And we live in this, I need it now. I need it now. I can order something online right now and it's going to be to my doorstep like tomorrow.
Sure.
Good things take time. Becoming rooted in life and business, which you obviously have, is absolutely incredible, but also you becoming the best version of yourself, not only for your family, but for your business, trickles down to the patients that you help. And any business is going to have headaches. That's going to happen. But as we say, you remember your why, your team remembers your why. It's to help patients on the road to better hearing. How beautiful is that? To help these individuals communicate much better with their friends and their family. So an entrepreneur, oftentimes entrepreneurs might have this goal of like, I want to have a net worth of 10, 20, 30 million one day. And like, that's great if that's what you want to aspire to. But let's break it down at the micro level of creating a business that is self-sustaining. Like, how about that is a great goal? You had said working on your business earlier. There's a difference between working in and working on your business. But as an entrepreneur, the importance of diversifying your portfolio. You've also ventured into real estate. What sparked that interest, and how do you approach these new ventures without burning out? Because last time I checked, we both have 24 hours in the day.
You're right. There's 24 hours in a day. You said it. I think it's really putting it in the calendar. You have to block out your time to be able to prioritize what's important at that moment and then give it your all and then move on to the next. You mentioned real estate. That all sparked really right post-COVID. During that time, my brother, I can't take the credit because he's the one that he started it. He actually was the person that invested in a property in Miami. He met the real estate agent, which now is my real estate agent and my manager. She manages all my properties, which again, it all starts with the people that you surround yourself with. The same thing with my private practices. Audiology is based on the people that I surround myself with. So without her managing and taking care of all of that, she's freeing up my time to do other things, to be with my family, to take care of the audiology business. So it's all about that teamwork in that way. But this is something that I wanted to do because we saw that my brother's first investment for Airbnb, short-term rentals, was really taking off right after COVID in Miami. And I just wish that I would have invested as soon as he did, because we saw 3 months later, his property was probably worth $100,000 more than it did when he first bought it in literally 3 to 4 months. So I was finally said, okay, you opened my eyes, I'm going to invest. And I did that. But I was nervous about it. How am I supposed to do that? But what drives me is actually doing more, doing something different, growing, knowing that this is going to be able to really help my family in the future if they decide they want to take it over. So that's really what drives me to do this. And 24 hours, there's so much to do. I just remember looking at an interview with Arnold Schwarzenegger. He says, he's going to acting classes. He was working out a bunch of hours a day. He had time for sleep. He had time for eating. It can happen. I think the best role model would be my mom. My mom worked full time. Amazing supervisor, New York City. And she went to school and earned her master's degree while
Wow.
earning a 4.0. And then lastly, taking care of the family, coming home, cooking, cleaning the house. She did it all. So looking at that, looking at my mom day to day while I was going to high school. So she did it while working, taking care of the family, earning her master's degree, 4.0. She said, all you're doing is going to school. You better earn A's. You better get straight A's and make it happen. There was a lot of pressure with my mom, which I appreciated, my father as well. But she was showing me by example that she can do multiple things all at the same time, and she's doing it well. So I can't take all the credit because my parents really helped me with all of that. And I'm grateful. I thank God every day because of them. And I'm not going to get emotional. I promised myself I was not going to get emotional, but they're my rock stars for sure.
Well, Jasen, jack of all trades, master of all is you, my friend. And now being a first-time new father, I think to myself, I have close friends and colleagues who we all went to graduate school together. And one of them, had at this point 2 children. One of them was, I want to say, probably 3. And I look back now, it's amazing. Like when you're first time father, first time parent, you start to think a lot more.
Sure.
And I'm like, wow. And she excelled. I'm like, that is so inspiring. And I'm thinking to myself, I think you get to a point where you're just going to make it happen, because now with kids and with not having so much leisure time, you have to make it happen. And I think for those tuned into the audio right now, I'm holding up my phone. This is a major distraction today.
Huge.
And cutting that off, you can accomplish so much. It's like, are you using your phone or is your phone using you?
Correct.
Don't want to go down that rabbit hole. But shout out to Mrs. Ruiz. Man, God bless her. That is absolutely incredible. And I can I know that's where you get that grit. And how amazing, Jasen. I remember when I was in college. So I eventually transferred, but I went to St. Peter's University in Jersey City. And my cousins, 4 of them are Jersey City firefighters. And my one cousin, Andrew, him and I would always have these deep philosophical conversations. And shout out to Andrew. But he would always say, he's like, you always want the next generation to do better, to be better. And it sounds like you're doing that. And not in the sense of like, my parents didn't do great for me, but like you always want that next generation to sort of level up. What are your thoughts there?
It's so true. You said it. Our goal is to turn things around, show that it's possible for everyone, but also for my children to be able to take everything that I've just started and for them to run with it. I want to be able to prepare them. I want to be able to give them the tools. I want them to be able to see everything that I'm doing so that they'll be able to say, Papa did it. I can do it too. And he's going to give me the tools to be able to do it. And not only, let's say they decide they want to take over what I'm doing in audiology or in real estate or even in bodybuilding, whatever the case may be. I want them to know they have these tools that they can use this as an option, and they'll be able to do anything else they feel like they want to do in the future. I want them to know that anything is possible as long as you give it your all, you 100%. And the funny thing is, my son, my oldest, he started a business of slime. And this started almost 2 years ago. I said, one day he came in like $35. Like, Pop, I earned $35 today. They said, what? I was like, oh, what happened now? Did he do something illegal?
What of mine did you sell?
What did you do? He said, no, for Christmas, I got this slime set. And what I started doing is I started making them and selling to kids in the bus and selling them in the classroom. I said, first of all, did you get permission from your teacher? He said, yeah, I actually told my teacher if she wanted to buy some and that I was going to give her a discount because she's my teacher. The teacher answered, no, I'm okay. And then he said, well, maybe not for you, but what about maybe for your children or someone else? It's ingrained in him already at such a young age. And I'm sure my youngest, which he's just turned 4, Aiden, I'm sure he'll be able to do the same thing because he looks up to his older brother. But it's so funny. And by the way, he's made over almost $200 of just selling slime. I said, where are these kids getting this money to buy slime? But it's
He's
funny.
going to his teacher like, hey, do I need to sign a non-compete here? Because I don't like he's learning all that. Well, and speaking of your son, I saw a post a couple of weeks ago where you took him around different properties on Take Your Child to Work Day. So I actually remember Take Your Child to Work Day going to St. Joseph's Hospital in Paterson, New Jersey, where my father was an audiologist. And yeah, I saw my first modified barium swallow study. So
Wow.
like Jason, I was genetically predisposed for this. I was like 8. And that
Wow.
was actually kind of scary seeing that MBS. Like when you're young, you're like, what is this? But
Sure.
pretty awesome. But I remember the Take Your Child to Work Day. So this was a little bit different the way that you posted it. What was the intention behind that? And are you, actively trying to instill an entrepreneurial mindset in your children?
I'm so glad that the schools actually have a program like this. I really don't remember if they had something like that when I was a child, and they probably did, but it was very difficult, I think, for my parents to take me to their occupation, to their job at that time. But I love that they do. This almost feels like a holiday because now I have all my time that day, all the focus and energy specifically for my child to see what I do on a day to day from when I wake up in the morning to working out, which he worked out with me. And then we did audiology. We paid bills. We had to, I remember that day specifically, we were troubleshooting a Verizon bill. We went to the bank. I mean, we went to the business mailbox. I mean, he saw it all. We wrote some checks out for reimbursements, and I made sure to have him write it and write the checks, and even put it in an envelope. Something that they may not learn in school. And then regarding the real estate, we had the same opportunity to do this last year, so he got to see the investments that we invested in a year ago, where it was just groundbreaking, and just see a huge difference 12 months later of how far they came with the construction. And he was just astonished that what a change, what a difference 1 year can do. And he loves that part. He loves, just be able to see the difference and be able to hang out with me. I made sure we had lunch down there. It's very exciting in Miami. So there's that vibe, and he feels it. I think he feels the energy. But I love to be able to do that and to instill the entrepreneur. I think he already has it already. And I'm hoping that I can encourage that, but also encourage if he decides he wants to go somewhere else, if he wants to work and do that, that's fine too. But one thing that I do stress, and I remember having this conversation with him, was the reason why I'm able to do what I'm doing right now with you specifically is because I have the freedom to do it. And being an entrepreneur allows me to do this. And I want you to be able to take this experience, learn from it, and then run with it. And also be an example for your younger brother, which is 6 years younger. I mean, it'd be a dream of mine for them to be able to start something amazing together. And for me to be able to witness that and see that, I mean, that would be great. And then my grandchildren to be able to continue that. I mean, I'm just thinking long term of what they can do. It gets me excited to think about that. And I look forward to seeing what they're going to do for the future. Mason, we just received this report card, straight A's this quarter, straight A's the third quarter. I actually got an email from his teacher, and I'm going to look really quickly. I know we're talking about the phones, but I'm so proud of him that I have to boast about him because literally
Absolutely, man.
This was just sent by his teacher yesterday. Good afternoon. I wanted to share a detailed breakdown of your child's FAST scores with you. The most meaningful comparison is between last year's end of the year score and this year's end of the year score, as it reflects a full year of academic growth. I am incredibly proud of the progress your child has made and all the hard work they put in this year. Their accomplishments are truly worth celebrating. Mason is a very smart boy, and I know next year he'll continue this upward trend. He has a great future ahead of him. It has been my pleasure to work with him this year. So it's huge. He scored a 5 out of 5.
Wow.
It's a possibility that he may be in the gifted classes next year. And one thing that I learned from him was set the tone, tell him what he needs to do, and let him run with it.
Mm.
I didn't put the pressure on him this year. And this year, all of a sudden, he just reached for the stars. And I'm just so proud of him to be able to get those kind words from his teacher yesterday. I was like, oh man, this is amazing. And I'm very, very proud of him. And same thing with my youngest too. It's just a huge difference from the beginning of the year or even last year compared to now. So I've been blessed. God has blessed me with some beautiful boys, some handsome, athletic boys. And I couldn't ask for anything more. So yeah, it's been phenomenal, Blaise. And I know you're going to be the same way. And this is just the beginning. Wait when you hit these milestones, when they go to school and when they play sports and do all these things, they always surprise you and it never gets old. And the love just continues to grow and grow and grow with them. So you're going to love it, Blaise. Fatherhood is the best thing that's ever happened to me.
I have to echo that, Jason. I'm 4 months in and already I'm like, this is incredible. And first and foremost, Mason, congratulations. Keep up the good work, buddy. We'll give you a little shout out there. Jason, for the listeners tuned in that are looking to diversify beyond their primary career, because that's what you've done, what's one piece of advice you'd give them to get started?
One word, because it all didn't start until I did this one word. That word would be fitness. Work on yourself. Be disciplined. Be consistent. Be motivating to yourself. Once you're able to get yourself healthy, it's really going to relate to everything that you're going to do after that. I know we touched on that a little bit earlier, but it's so true. If you have a clear mindset, if you feel good, actually, I'm going to quote the great Deion Sanders. This is something that I told my team when I was coaching is you look good, you feel good, you do good. And I so believe in that. It's something that they can't take away. Fitness, the way you are. When you walk into the room, the way people look at you, they automatically think this man, this woman is disciplined. They are disciplined. They are consistent. They are controlling what they're eating day to day. They're controlling how much water they're drinking day to day. It all starts with you. Get into fitness, and I bet it's going to change your life in every which way. You're going to be able to grow. You're going to be able to help more people. You're going to inspire more people. It's going to be an amazing thing. You need to take care of yourself. You need to be able to take care of your own temple in order to be able to take care of other people.
Absolutely.
Sure.
And Jason, I want to lean into, family, fatherhood, and faith. You're married with 2 children, and I'm a new dad myself. And I want to ask, how important is teamwork with your spouse when you have young kids? And what does showing up as a partner look like for you?
That's a good one. And we're still growing and we're still learning. I mean, it's just life as a team. But that's exactly what you're trying to say in teamwork. I've been fortunate enough to be on teams in high school, football, wrestling, and in college. I've been fortunate enough to be able to coach football and being on a team again. I'm fortunate enough to have a team in audiology. Again, I all base it on teamwork. I tell my wife, we got to divide and conquer sometimes because let's say my youngest, Aiden, is at a jiu-jitsu and now my oldest has lacrosse practice. We have to divide and conquer. But at the end of the day, we all come together and to be able to share our goals. One thing that I do stress is we cannot lose each other. Yes, we have busy lives. Yes, we're surrounded with activities for our children. Yes, there's a lot of distractions out there. Like you mentioned, the phone. But one of the things that I do with my wife is on Fridays, sometimes it's on Wednesdays, and sometimes she's the one that suggests it, but we actually put it on the calendar and say, lunch date. It doesn't matter if it's even an hour. And the funny thing about it, the ironic thing about it is the fact that during that lunch date, we're talking about our kids again, but still we're spending time with one another.
Yeah.
We're spending time, we're spending that hour. We dedicated that to ourselves, and we need to make sure to keep it going, because we can't get lost, I would say, in the storm of the busy activities because of sports, because of school, because of the business. We have to know and prioritize the marriage as well. It all starts with the marriage, and then the kids came after. And at the same time, being an example, your children seeing that, they're going to take that and learn from it and do that with their spouses. So it's very, very important to make sure to take that time with your spouse for sure.
And prioritizing, you had before kids, which are, oh my gosh, such a blessing. I mean, I'm preaching the choir here. Ensuring that you're maintaining that marriage and that partnership, that union that you have, even if it's one day a week where you are blocking off that hour, 2 hours for lunch. And it's so, it's so funny because when Autumn and I go out for lunch or dinner, we're like, oh, look at this cute photo of him. But you're still, but that's okay. I mean, that's your family, but not losing light of, we are still married, and this union, our marriage, has to continue to maintain that strong foundation to give to our family as well. And I know, Jason, we're nearing the end of our show today, but we were talking about getting through difficult times and challenges. How has your faith helped you push through tough seasons of business or life?
I was fortunate enough where my parents were able to sacrifice and afford Catholic school. So it was, I actually went to Catholic school all my life, even to grad school, undergrad. It's everything. I mean, When we wake up in the morning, from when I wake up in the morning, I thank God it only takes a couple of minutes to have the air in my lungs, to be able to start a new day, to be able to inspire others, to be able to win the day, to be a better father, a better person. I thank God for that every single day. It's the first thing I do. It's non-negotiable. It's almost automatic as I'm opening up my eyes. I am a morning person. Sometimes it could be a little bit much for my wife. I wake up, she says, I'm singing like a bird. It's just me early in the morning. That's just the way I'm built. Another thing that we do is at nighttime, we pray with both of our children right before we go to sleep. We say a prayer, and then I ask him, what are you thankful for? Usually Mason says, I'm thankful for my baby brother. I'm thankful for my life. I'm thankful for all these things. He's been saying this since we were since babies. And then
you set the tone, Jason.
Yeah,
you and your wife.
Yeah. And then I asked him, what do you wish for? Well, I wish for, for complete happiness, for health. And these are the things that even at that age, I don't think I could have said these things. And he does it. And we do the same thing with our youngest. Actually, this just happened recently for Mother's Day. Actually, Mother's Day was just a couple of weeks ago, and we were celebrating with my mom and my wife. We were going out for lunch right after church. It was a Sunday, obviously. And we were about to eat. We were being served food. And my youngest, which is 4, he says, wait, Papa. In the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. And then he starts praying. And I said, thank you for reminding me, because we got to be thankful for the people that made the food, and we got to be thankful that we're able to nourish our bodies with the food. And he started it. He reminds us. So it's true. We instill that in our children. And I know sometimes it's difficult to talk about faith and religion because there's so many different ones, but you have to believe in God. You have to believe that there's a reason for everything, and also show that to your children so that they'll be able to continue that. Without God, there's nothing. So I appreciate it. And I appreciate everything that we have because I'm grateful for it. And like you mentioned, the more we give, the more that comes back. Not that we're expecting it, but it's so true.
And when you're living out God's will.
Correct.
You are absolutely living out his will for your life. And one of my favorite Bible verses is Matthew 7:7. Ask and it shall be given to you. Seek and you shall find. Knock and it shall be open unto you.
Love it.
I have this written on my note card here. Matthew 5:16. So let your light shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father who is in heaven. Jason, thank you so much for joining us on the Trail Blaiser. Your vulnerability, your excitement fires me up. And truly, I am so excited for your continued success, but for the continued success and health of your family, of your inner circle. My very last question for you, though, if someone wants to elevate their entire life, whether that be health, business, relationships, what's that one piece of wisdom you'd want them to remember from this episode?
For all those listeners out there, for my family, for my friends, for my team, for everyone, work on yourself. Fitness, get in the gym. I know it's a little nerve-wracking, overwhelming at first. Find a way, work on yourself, because that's going to open the doors for so many different things out there. Believe me, my businesses have really taken off within the last 4 years. And that's when I really was focused on myself, on working out, on eating well, on drinking and hydrating. It's going to change everything. And it's going to be an example for your future. So work on yourself.
Dr. Jasen Ruiz, everyone. You're always welcome on the Trail Blaiser podcast, and we'll talk soon, my friend.
Thank you so much, Blaise. I appreciate it.